whites only. We had to drink out of colored-only water fountains and sit in colored-only sections on buses. There was an atmosphere of fear and tension. The Ku Klux Klan openly paraded in the community to intimidate blacks. Blacks were beaten by the police. We were always careful not to disobey the law because we did not know what would happen to us. We knew enough to stay out of trouble. Then, in December 1955, something extraordinary happened on this very bus. It would change our lives and change the world. Rosa Parks, a quiet, dignified African-American seamstress, challenged the laws of segregation when she refused to give up her seat to a white man. Listen to Rosa Parks tell us what happened on this bus that week.
I left work on my way home December 1st, 1955, about 6 o'clock in the afternoon. I boarded the bus downtown Montgomery on Coke Square. On the third stop, the white passengers had filled the front bus. The seat I occupied was the first of the seats where the Negro passengers take as they on this route. The driver noticed that the front of the bus was filled with white passengers and there would be 2 men standing. He looked back and asked that the seat where I had taken, along with 3 other persons, one in a seat with me and 2 across the aisle was seated. He demanded the seat that we were occupying. The other passengers there reluctantly gave up their seats, but I refused to do so. The driver said that if I refused to leave the seat, he would have to call the police, and I told him just call the police, which he did, and when they came, they placed me under arrest. The time had just come when I had been pushed as far as I could stand to be pushed, I suppose. I had decided that I would have to know once and for all what rights I had as a human being and a citizen, even in Ghana, Alabama.
Rosa Parks has shown us how to start out here. We had a lot more work to do to assure our civil rights and to enjoy the full expression of freedom.
Cleaned it up pretty good.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Isn't money great? It does a lot of things. Right. But, this was a time where it wasn't, money wasn't an issue.
So this is the Rosa Parks bus. So the famous picture was taken a year after she was arrested, where she sat in the seat again. So Lewis and I will be going to Montgomery, and maybe there'll be some type of museum which will have a complete story of what Rosa Parks did and Martin Luther King Jr. So that's going to be later on in our trip. There's a great speech from Martin Luther King. The movie doesn't depict a lot of the white people that were marching with him. It's just unfortunate that it doesn't give the proper historical context that Jewish people also walked hand in hand with Martin Luther King Jr. to protest the segregatorial policies of the South. to me is the complete story of the entire time that Jewish people also protested arm in arm with African Americans and minorities to demand equal rights for all. And here's the famous Lyndon Johnson speech.
And injustice, and we shall overcome.
Yes, Hubert Humphrey. Speaker Albert, LBJ.
Martin Luther King dedicated his life to love and to
And
justice.
Robert Kennedy will be killed a couple months later in California.
He died in the cause of that effort. For those of you who are black and are tempted to be filled with hatred and distrust of the injustice of such an act against all white people, I would only say that I can also feel in my own heart the same kind of feeling. I had a member of my family killed. He was killed by a white man. But we have to make an effort in the United States. We have to make an effort to understand, to get beyond or go beyond these rather difficult times.